Genshin finally has a new in-game mode, and in this video I'm going to give you all the rundown on everything you need to know for it, plus my thoughts on the good, the bad, and the utterly disgusting. First things first, you gotta be AR 35. I'm normally against AR content locks, but just to be upfront with everyone, if you haven't made it to AR 35, you probably don't have enough characters to do it. That's not me gatekeeping, that's Hoyo gatekeeping. Blame them. Next, if you've hit AR 35, you'll automatically be given the quest called Unbegun Unending Story. The quest is literally just going to the Knights of Favonius library and opening a door on the bottom floor. Once you go on through the door, you're gonna talk to a teddy bear. Yeah, I know. After that, you click on this book and you'll have unlocked Imaginarium Theater. Once you get in, you'll be able to select between easy, normal, and hard mode. The rewards for the season are tied to each stage of the mode. In easy mode, you can only go up to stage 4. In normal, you can go up to stage 6. And for these modes, there's a minimum level requirement of 60 for your cast, which I'll explain in a bit. Hard mode goes all the way to stage 8 and requires level 70 characters. If you complete the hard mode through stage 8, you'll earn all the rewards for the season, but if you only complete easy or normal, you won't earn rewards for the stages they didn't include. I know some of y'all only care about the rewards, so let's talk about what you'll get. Every season, if you clear on easy mode, you will earn 280 Prima Gems, 200,000 Mora, 18 green talent books of different types, 9 blue talent books of different types, 5 Sanctifying Essence, which is 50,000 Artifact XP, and 1 toy medal that can be used to unlock special poses for certain characters. Clearing normal provides an additional 160 Primos, 100,000 Mora, 6 green talent books, 3 blue talent books, 5 more Sanctifying Essence, and 1 more toy medal. Hard mode provides 200 more Primos, 100,000 more Mora, 6 more green talent books, 3 more blue talent books, 5 more Sanctifying Essence, and 1 more toy medal. Once again, you do not have to complete all difficulties. Completing hard mode by itself will also give you the rewards for stages 1 through 6. All in all, the total seasonal rewards comes to 620 Primos, 400,000 Mora, 30 green talent books, 15 blue talent books, 15 Sanctifying Essence, and 3 toy medals. But that's not all. There are also first time clear rewards. Clearing up through stage 8 for the first time will grant you a total of 1,100 Primos, 640,000 Mora, 40 Heroes Wit, 4 Fragile Resin, and 1 Billet Trove that can be used for materials needed for craftable weapons. Keep in mind, these are one-time rewards. Once you've claimed them, that's it. Similar to floors 1 through 8 of the Spiral Abyss. Next, you can set your supporting cast. This part's important, so pay attention. This is where you can select characters from your roster that will be available for your friends to use. When you open up the screen, it will allow you to select from any of your characters. However, if you select characters that are too low level, aren't one of the 4 special guest characters, or any element other than the 3 elements of the season, they will not show up for your friends to use. In addition to that, your friends can only use a character from your support cast once per season, and your characters can only be selected as supporting cast 15 times. Once you've selected your difficulty, you will move on to the cast setup. Every season has a principal cast of characters that must be used. If you have any of those characters, you can use them. If not, you can use the trial versions. The trial characters are more than good enough to clear the content, so there's no need to fret about not having the characters or if the versions you have of those characters aren't invested into. Next, you'll be able to choose your supporting cast. First, there are 4 special guests that aren't of the required element every season. If you have them, you can use them. If you don't, you can't. And I'm not even going to wait for the opinion section. That sucks. It sucks really bad. Whoever decided this needs to go hold a penny to the wall with their nose for 30 minutes and think about what they've done. After that, you'll see every character you have that meets the level and element requirement for the stage you selected. You will need to pick at least 11 of them to participate in hard mode, at least 7 for normal and 3 for easy mode. Those numbers would be bumped up by 1, but you are also able to select 1 character from your friend's supporting cast. assuming it is a character that you aren't using yourself. Once you have selected that cast member, they will remain as long as your friend has uses for that character left. If you deselect them, you will not be able to select another character from your friend for that season. If you don't have any friends, add 1 to all the previous numbers I gave for the characters you have to have of the right level and element for the season. Remember to have your characters fully equipped before starting. Just like Spiral Abyss, you will have to start over from the beginning if you need to change builds or your cast. When selecting characters, if at all possible, try to focus on off-fielders and supports. At least this season, we have 3 on-fielders in the principal cast. Each can be used twice, so you really only need 1 more on-fielder to complete the mode. Once you begin, you'll be given cards to select from. The cards with enemies on them will determine which enemies you will face in the current stage. Enemy cards will reward you points you can use to add other characters or receive buffs from other cards after completing the stage. The number of points you have to spend is displayed in the top right. If you don't like any of the cards you were given, you can reshuffle up to 2 times to fish for better cards, but more reshuffles can be earned with certain cards. Selecting a card will always reshuffle every card currently being displayed, except for boss cards. So if you pick one of the free mystery caches, and there's a companion card available, you may lose your chance to add a companion for that stage. There are quite a few different cards, so let's give a rundown of the cards you can expect to see. First, enemy cards. There are normal enemies that will reward 80 points for completing the stage, elite enemies that will reward 110 points for completing the stage, and climactic showdowns that reward 125 points for completing the stage that always appear on stages 4, 6, 8, and cannot be replaced. As for the other cards, you have the free mystery cache that will give you a random card that can be to your benefit, but has a chance to have a negative effect like preventing you from adding more characters that stage. Wonder Spoons that cost 60 points and contain various buffs, which you should probably ignore until you've unlocked all of your characters. Rare mystery caches that cost 40 points, and companion cards that cost 80. Companion cards can either allow you to choose certain characters or give you random characters. If the companion card has an element on it, you can only receive characters of that element when you choose the companion card. There is also a companion card that costs 100 points that will allow you to select from any of your remaining supporting cast. Now that you've spent your points and selected the enemy for the stage, you'll be sent to the battle prep screen where you'll be shown your objectives. The only objective that has to be completed is the main objective. In fact, sometimes the secondary objectives will be impossible. Kinda dumb that made it into the final version, but the secondary objectives aren't necessary. The one required to complete the stage will be the one worth the most points. Stages all have certain gimmicks, like getting struck by lightning periodically, that you'll be able to see under stage effects. Hit begin performance, walk up to the key, and you'll be able to select from your available characters and begin the challenge. Each character can be used twice, with the possibility of being returned with certain cards after their energy is gone. And you must use a team of 4 characters to start the challenge. It'd be nice if you could use a team of 3, or even 2 in some of these, but whatever. For me, the first stage is the hardest because most of your principal cast are on-fielders, and running more than one just to fill space can gimp you later. Once you've completed the challenge, you'll be given another member of your cast, assuming you didn't get unlucky with the mystery cache, and you'll be returned to the lobby and given the opportunity to interact with the characters you just used for the challenge. Oh, and don't worry if your characters die, you'll still be able to use them in later stages as long as they have energy left. Complete every stage following these same steps, and you'll be rewarded with credits for your performance that show stats like most damage dealt, taken, and enemies dispatched. That's it. Now, for my thoughts. We'll start with the good. It's pretty fun, and it is very replayable. Similar to Simulated Universe and Honkai Star Rail, every run you do will be different, but it has the additional touch of being able to choose which enemies to fight on the non-boss stages, and not only that, but it's also pretty cool to be able to interact with your teammates you just used on specific stages. This adds a nice little novelty that encourages you to play again with different characters to see what they'll say. If you have other characters to use in additional runs, that is. Now, for the bad. And this is going to take a while, so buckle up. We'll start with a softball because it's related to the last good point. Being forced to go back into the lobby every stage sucks. Yes, it's cool to be able to talk to the other characters, like I said, but returning to the lobby should definitely be optional. Also related, and this was something I talked about at length in my recent Hoyoverse video that didn't go very well, it's way too prohibitive. I have a lot of characters. I also have a lot of built characters. But among the 3 elements allowed above the level requirement, I only have 13 that are equipped with artifacts and weapons, and you need at least 11. So I was barely able to participate in this. Even more so than this current abyss, you're just shit out of luck if you don't have 11 and a friend with uses left on their characters. Personally, I like the randomness of getting different characters every time. It adds an improv dimension to team building and coming up with different teams, and team building is just my favorite part of the game. That said, if your account is pretty much any amount less developed than mine, some of those slots will have to be filler characters because you cannot even participate in the mode if you can't fill the slots. And you may have to use those filler characters depending on the RNG. Honestly, not requiring the full amount of characters and not requiring full teams would help a lot here. It'd make it a lot more accessible and would add even more replayability by trying to complete it with as few characters as possible. Next, the supporting cast. There's no need for limited uses. It's a totally unnecessary restriction. In addition to that, you should be able to use whatever characters your friends choose, no matter what. If they throw a Farina in there, let us use her. We only get one, and it makes no sense that you're able to select characters that are unusable. If you absolutely refuse to allow your friends' ineligible characters to be used, they shouldn't be able to select them in the first place. Filter out the other characters the same way you do when choosing your cast for the game mode. Lastly, and this is the most important, so that one person at mihoyo.com that watches my videos, listen up. The special guests are total bullshit. I know what this is. It's more FOMO. You want players to pull on characters they don't want because of the possibility they might show up as supporting cast. There is at least one person out there that saw Siegeween in the supporting cast and decided to pull her so they'd have a Hydro, and that is one person too many. Absolutely disgusting. So, how do you fix it? Easy. Special guests are any characters you own. Or, because let's be real, you'll never be that good to us, trial characters are available for them. Either of those instantly makes this game mode more accessible to your players, which is a good thing. Final thoughts. It's fun, if you have enough characters for it. However, it is way too prohibitive. I have 68 characters, and there will likely be months where I cannot even participate in the season. The lengths you have gone to manipulate players into thinking they need to pull on every new character are abhorrent. First, patches where players have nothing to do if they don't pull on the new character. Second, an abyss that's totally impractical to 36-star without certain characters. And now, a game mode that shoves FOMO down players' throats because of the possibility that they might need a certain character to participate in the game mode. This was your chance to restore the waning faith of your player base. This could have been incredible. The bones here are a lot of fun, but at least with me, you've taken 3 steps backwards. This straight up just takes advantage of any of the goodwill you got by giving hope that you do something good for your players. It's like if your friend asked you to set up a Bitcoin miner, and then you agreed to do it 3 years later, but you set it up beforehand to funnel everything into your crypto wallet. Shame on you, Hoyoverse. Do better.